What up, YouTube? Welcome to Reading Reddit, where we share some of Reddit's craziest stories. But before you do that, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Alright, let's get into today's video. Someone stole my credit card and bought an iPad, but it had shipped to my house. What's your best stupid criminal story? I'm guessing they accidentally went with the default ship to the billing address option. The kicker is they actually called me pretending to be a Best Buy employee, said they had shipped a package in error and I should leave it outside for UPS to pick up. Luckily, I noticed a charge on my credit card and was able to return the iPad for a full refund. I gave the phone number to the cops. Mine was stolen once. The person ordered about $75 worth of pizza and had it delivered to their house. I visited the pizza place and said I needed a receipt for the pizza so my company would pay me back. They gave me a receipt showing the address they delivered it to. Turned it into the police in town and they were on the news 2 days later. My parents were driving home and saw their second car coming the other way, turned around, followed it, and stole it back with their spare set of keys. And yes, obviously then reported the matter to the police. They stole it back? Nice. A friend of mine had his backpack with his $1,400 engineering laptop in it, stolen while at the campus food court. I had a weird good feeling it would turn up on Craigslist or somewhere similar. Every day for a week I checked Craigslist. Exactly 1 week later I found the laptop. This extremely stupid criminal took a picture of the laptop screen with my friend's login name. Yeah, very stupid criminal. So I contacted the seller immediately via email and he responded within 20 minutes. I said I'd like to buy the laptop from him. We agreed to meet at a nearby parking lot later that day. Next we called the cops. They agreed to set up a sting on the thief. One of the officers pretended to be a buyer and approached the thief. The officer acted as if he was examining the laptop but was actually looking for the serial number. Boom, it had a matching serial number and they arrested this dump. A week ago, 4 months later, the guy was proven guilty and to my knowledge is spending a year in prison. Plus, my buddy finally got his laptop back. Someone stole my wife's debit card and used it for online gambling websites in Europe and ended up winning. The winning automatically went right back onto her account. Jackpot. Yeah, but she couldn't keep it since she had already disputed the charges with the bank and frozen the account. The lesson here is, if someone uses your credit card for online gambling, wait and see if they win before calling the police. My grandfather is a war veteran, the gung-ho type that loves his automatic weapon collection. Not a redneck, he actually lived up in northern USA. He was just a high-ranking human weapon with a love of guns. Fast forward from 1950 to 1999, retired and nearly 80 years old, my grandfather was out of his lawn power washing his boat when a thief came up behind him and ordered him into his house at gunpoint. While inside the house, my grandfather instructed this single thief that all of his money was upstairs in a box in his coat room. Thinking my grandfather an old and weak person, the thief leaves him alone to retrieve his loot upstairs. Grandfather goes to his gun case in the other room, retrieves an M4A assault rifle. He makes a quick stop at his liquor cabinet to pour himself a glass of scotch and is waiting silently in a rocking chair facing the stairs. There is no money in the coat room closet. The thief was angry now. Rushing down the stairs, he nearly shit himself when he sees an assault rifle pointing at him. He stumbles down the stairs and knocks himself out cold on the hardwood floor railing on the way down. Grandfather ties him up and calls the police. TLDR, do at least a little research before you grab Grambo. One of my friend's co-workers worked at a patrol station. One night when he wasn't working, he put on a mask and robbed it with his friends. He demanded the extra cigarettes which were located under the counter from the clerk. The clerk just replies there weren't any cigarettes there. He replies, yes there are, I know because I work here. Well, this is pretty damn stupid. Stupid girl found my debit card after I dropped it on campus. Took it to Wilson's Leather and bought her boyfriend a leather jacket. When my card didn't have enough on it to pay the whole cost of the jacket, she used her own debit card to finish paying it off. Whole on video. There's a possibly apocryphal story that a wealthy lady in New Haven, Connecticut had her purse stolen. Inside the purse was her Yale Co-op card. The Yale Co-op is the campus store. A little while later, someone showed up at the co-op and tried to pay with the card. The cashier asked her to wait a moment while she verified the purchase. After a short interval, two gentlemen in blue uniforms showed up and invited the shopper to ride with them in their car. Unfortunately, the stolen card belonged to Miss Kingman Brewster. Kingman Brewster happened to be the president of Yale at the time, meaning that pretty much everyone connected to the university would recognize his name. And while the cashier might not have known exactly what Mr. Brewster looked like, he had a pretty shrewd idea that the president of America's oldest and waspiest college was married to a 17-year-old African-American girl. TLDR, teenage backsnatcher tries to use the prominent person's charge card in the one store in town where everyone will instantly know that it's not hers. Someone stole my credit card info and bought a copy of their credit report with it. I looked that mofo up on Facebook too, since the CC company somehow ended up sending me a full copy of his credit report during the investigation, and I was like, dude, poke him. I got one from this past weekend actually. I volunteered cleaning up at a local park. It's called a park, but it has no facilities, no employees, etc. It's really more of a forest and doesn't get much official attention. Anyway, almost every day I walk through, pick up trash, and ensure it's properly disposed of. It's a beautiful park and I like to keep it that way. So Sunday afternoon I found that someone had dumped a huge amount of construction debris in the park along one of the access roads. As I piled it up neatly, I found a receipt with the guy's name, address, and phone number along with the description of his vehicle, including the make, model, mileage, and VIN. So I called the state park and asked to speak with an officer, showed him the dumped trash, showed him the receipt I found, and made a formal complaint. He gave me the usual, "We'll let you know if we need anything else from you." The officer called me last night to thank me for finding the receipt. He said they went and paid the guy a visit, found the vehicle in the driveway, and he answered the door. "Are you John Doe?" He said, "Yes, that's me." The officer said he insisted he knew nothing about illegal dumping, no surprise, and when it seemed like the interrogation was going nowhere, he pulled out the receipt, and then the guy said, "That's not my name." He already said it was him. The officer told me that's when he said, "Okay, sir, if you're not going to properly identify yourself, you're under arrest for obstructing a government official, a Class A misdemeanor, and we'll fingerprint you at the station and find out who you really are." Suddenly the guy's story changed. He was the guy on the receipt, that was his truck, and he dumped the trash in the park. The officer even said that the guy said, "I never thought I'd get caught," and he wouldn't have either if it was for us meddling kids. TLDR, guy dumps construction debris in park, leaves receipt with name, address, phone number, make, model, color, mileage of vehicle, and VIN. Guy lies about it when questioned by the police, comes clean after confronted with the receipt. There's a place in the not so nice area of Dallas that sells insanely precise novelty driver's license for a justifiably high price. These two geniuses were in line ahead of me purchasing theirs, and one of them put his actual birth date on the thing. Dumbass paid $150 for a fake ID that says he's 19. Now that's some Aggie genius there. My soccer team was playing a game at a local park. During the game, a sketchy looking guy runs through the pitch we are playing on, holding several cell phones. We soon realized that said valuables belonged to us and began chasing him. He probably thought that he has made a profit stealing cell phones worth hundreds, till he looks back and sees 30 people chasing them down. When we caught him, we took our valuables back and proceeded to beat the crap out of him. The thing is, our changing rooms are roughly 200 yards from the field, so why run directly past the people you just robbed when you could just easily sneak away? Yeah, steal from a large athletic group, warmed up and ready to run, who are wearing cleats. That's a great idea. I bet he had the worst bruises imaginable. Amex is a little overzealous in their anti-fraud practices. I purchased about 1,200 parts for my new home computer rig from Newegg.com. I get a call about 30 minutes later from Amex asking if it was me. I said yes, what kind of thief would send computer parts to the billing address? His response was, "You'd be surprised." Incredulous. When I was 16 years old, some former friend broke into my basement. Among a couple other random things, they stole my radio, which was a giant boombox in my back. They also stole a couple of sports collectibles that belonged to my stepfather. My stepfather was not the type of person you wanted to piss off. While he was never a violent person, but he had no problems with resorting to violence if need be. His sons, though, had hair-trigger tempers. It didn't take much for them to want to beat the shit out of someone. I'm pissed. My stepfather was about to lose his shit. He calls up his sons, who head over to the house. As they're about to pull in, they hear music. The kids who broke into my house were in the schoolyard 3 houses down from where I live, listening to my radio, and one is sitting on my back. Beatings were issued. This happened to my fiance's family. A few years ago, this drunk stone guy came and started pounding on the door at 3 in the morning. My fiance's dad came to the door and yelled, "What the do you want?" The idiot stared back and said, "I'm here for the party." My fiance's dad closed the door. The guy kept trying to get in. My fiance's dad screamed at the guy and said there was no party and get off his property. The guy went around to the garage and got into my future MIL's car. By this time, FIL has called the cops, grabbed his gun, and is coming out with the family's 130-pound German Shepherd. The guy sees FIL, freaks out, and tries to run. The dog bites the dumbass on his booty and stops the guy in his tracks. Cops show up and arrest the guy. KC, the dog, comes trotting back up to the family with jeans, a piece of boxers, and skin in his mouth. Edit, TLDR, guy wants to party, ends up with a new hole in his butt. Oh, forgot my stupid criminal story. It's kinda separate from my explanation of why the thief probably did this. Someone stole my credit card number and paid. Their energy company, hope you enjoy getting your electricity shut off. The cable company, again, has your SSN ID info. Multiple postpaid cell companies will have SSN. Catering has to be delivered somewhere. Hair braiding, think they won't remember what you look like? I check my transaction across all accounts on Mint daily, but at the time my issuer didn't show pending transactions, so I only caught the fraud a few days later when the charges posted and I saw them. Issuer didn't see anything amiss. I never found the source of my breach. Some members of a forum and I had a common shop and we suspect they were the source, but we have no proof. Many months after the fraud occurred, my name, address, phone number, credit card info, expiration date, and security code were uploaded to Pastebin with the information of about 400 something other people. I found this out when some stranger called me and said, "Your credit card number is online, cancel your card." I then googled my card number, already canceled so no harm, and it was on Pastebin. It was a free taster for some criminals seeing the card numbers to show that they had real numbers to sell. The guy was calling down the list to be a good person. I reported it to Pastebin and it was quickly removed. We left our garage open a few years ago at night by accident. Apparently someone had been snooping around in there because everything was out of place in the morning, except for a solid gold bracelet laying on the ground outside the garage door. What'd they steal? My effing Razor scooter, man. Maybe it was one of those action moments where a protagonist needed a way to chase the villain, and the best thing they could do was drop an expensive bracelet as payment. Well, those are some stupid criminals. You guys have any dumb criminal stories? Leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends, and everybody you know. Bye.